Alright you guys, I think I'm finally ready to showcase my findings on an updated version of my old villager sorter and trading hall video. So that'll be linked in the description if you want to check it out, but basically the original design involved a track going back and forth, and then the track was one block lower. And if you haven't seen this before, then simply how it works is you have a reservoir of villagers that can be produced from a villager breeder, like the one I endorse, designed by Minerva members, linked in the description below. It's an awesome villager breeder that provide plenty of villagers for all your trading needs. It takes these villagers and then pops them off using activator rails, and then once the villager lands in its slot, it activates a torch that turns off the activator rail so that no more go in that slot. And then once you kill them, if that's not a villager you wanted or something, it'll cycle through them. Why he didn't move, okay, that was weird. I'm not sure. And that's kind of it. But in 1.11 and 1.11 and 1.12, it broke this so that it doesn't quite work the same. People in the comments have figured out that raising the rail up a block actually, for whatever reason, fixes this. And as far as west to east, this works completely fine. And it is my understanding that you need the villagers coming from the right, going to the left. And then this can be as long as you want. However, one of the problems encountered, let's see if I can recreate it, is that when the villager bounced back and forth, let me just break some of these. When the villager comes back, you can see they go into the same spot. And that just isn't a good thing. So, what I came up with as a solution for this is having the villagers cycle along the top. Now, the minecarts shouldn't be grouped up, but it looks like that's not even a problem. Is you can have the minecart looping in a circle, and that's usually about half speed, but if you can get 2 or 3 or even 4 villagers in there, it can operate at a higher speed, unless of course it doesn't mess up. I have had, varying results with this, so use at your own risk. Of course, you can use just one minecart and it's completely fine. Something I've also set up here are pistons here, which get activated by tripwires, which just push the villagers into the corner so that they always get picked up. This will work with any amount of villagers. And the other design I came up with is pretty much the same thing, but it really only works with one villager. So it's just slightly lower. It's just a slightly more compact form factor kind of thing. However, if you have another villager going, they can have the potential to screw each other up. So in my testing, I found that like the top head of the villager would actually hit the minecart, and in this case, it's actually working surprisingly well. But sometimes it would screw itself up. You can see like right there. I think they're actually impacting each other, but that's completely fine. You don't have to use as many. And what I have found is south to north, I haven't gotten this to work. North, south, south, north, they just don't work the same. The villagers get dropped off in these weird spots, and they just aren't functional. Let's power this and just kind of show you exactly what's going on. So you can see, even though it's hitting this activator rail, it's being popped off over here. I don't really understand entirely what's going on, but yeah, and then it goes back the other way. And I've tried this in both directions, and I haven't gotten anything working. But yeah, if you're interested in how this works, then let's show a basic tutorial. So you're going to want some epic building block, like diamonds, and then you're going to want to space it out as much as you want. I recommend 5 villagers. I mean, that's as many as I've ever been able to trade with, like, reliably. If you want to do more than that, then you go crazy. And then to power it, you just need the torches on the right, and then a block above those, because these are going to need to power your activator rails. Let me just place these blocks. And then to power these activator rails, you're going to need something different. Okay, so to power the powered rails, you're going to need normal blocks. So right next to the blocks where the villagers will be standing on, you're going to need redstone blocks, whatever kind of powered block, just to get the powered rails working, because that'll keep the villagers moving inside. And then only on those do you place powered rails, and then activator rails right next to all of your villagers. Now, it's highly recommended to make this go all the way up. So if you want it to loop around, that's recommended because that way they don't bounce back, and it's just far easier to do that instead of mess with all the other solutions. And I'm just going to use, here, let's go up the full block. And then I just use half slabs just so there's no chance that any villager is going to get hit. But, I don't think it's that risky anyway. So let's just get a powered rail in here. And then you're going to want powered rails all the way along the top. And don't worry about that. So, to complete the facade, you're going to want something pretty, something that matches, like purple. And just make sure all the blocks are in place. Make sure that there's blocks above the powered rails so that the villagers can only really go to one location. And then you can do whatever you want to keep them inside. You can place a block at their head level like this, or you can do what I prefer, which is to place some kind of cobble fence or fence post right next to there, because there's half a block above the fence where the villagers won't walk out. This goes without saying that this will not work with babies. And then you want some kind of reservoir. So I recommend, in my testing I had some troubles, so let me just double check here. Yeah, you're going to want at least a couple powered rails of space within here, because if they're too close to the activator rail, they might even pop off back in the holding cell. And then you want some sort of location like this. So let me explain kind of the rules behind this. Pushing them into a corner works, as far as I'm aware. That's been completely reliable. However, you know, we're gonna ignore them. However, I have found that pushing the villagers just to the side has worked completely fine. So you can see that we push the villagers in here, and then give this a solid block to bounce off of. Oh no, no! Hold on just a second here. All right, all right. So as long as it's a solid block to bounce off of, the minecart will work just fine. So let's get a minecart in place and then test this theory. Actually, we need one more thing. Oh yeah, you need the minecart to fall back into place. So this is probably a situation where pushing in from the corner is necessary because the minecart needs to fall straight down. Sorry for misleading you guys, but I did get this to work on the other one, so I'm not gonna worry about that. But basically the minecart would loop around, and having it not loop around, you can see that it'll drop the villagers off exactly where they need to go. I see the problem. Okay, alright, 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 alright. I was about to restart the tutorial. No, 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 I forgot the pressure plates. You need some kind of pressure plate or else that torch doesn't go off and then the whole design breaks. Now it should work completely fine. There we go. And then the villagers go into this place. If it hasn't been clear already, this is just a great way to go from a villager breeder to an area where you can cleanly just check their trades. You know, if that's not something you want, just kill it, you know, see what they have, and then you can sift through all your villagers nice and easy. Hope this fix works, and thanks for watching.